Shane and Oran Kenny, you're very welcome, lads, to the podcast.
Hi, Sean. How's it going? How are you?
Longford and Rathcline, GAA men. Looking forward to having a chat with you today, lads. I'm first of all just going to go through your accolades very quickly, lads. Your achievements today. So let's look at Shane first. Leinster VEC 2013, Father Manning Cup versus Roscommon, Leinster Minor League versus Offaly, All Ireland Agricultural Final. Championship, Intermediate Championship 2015, 2017, 2018, and Bertie Allen Cup 2015.
Yeah.
Oran O'Byrne Cup 2020, Leinster Secondary School C Championship 2019, Intermediate Championship 2018, Father Manning Shield 2016, and North Leinster C Championship 2019.
Yeah.
Straight away, lads, when I read the accolades, I'm just thinking, like, so much achieved already. So do you find that this stage in your career is like that? Like the straight away for me, the positive impact of all that is like there's a winning mentality there.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I suppose they're like, when you look at it, we have a lot. Like, there's not a lot won there, but if we want to push on, we need more of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We need to be pushing on. Like, intermediates are great to be winning, and they're a great accolade to have. But ideally, where Rathcline want to be and is to be looking at as hopefully senior championship in a couple of years' time. You know, that's what we're aiming for.
I get you. Yeah, the ambition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
always want more. Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, I still think it's very important, like, to kind of stop and think sometimes of what you do achieve as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because,
exactly.
Like, if I was to say, if I was to look back when I was a minor, look back on what I had won, there would not be a fraction of that.
Yeah.
What I'm after reading there now, like maybe a few, maybe under 16 championship, maybe club championship. That would have been the height of it. I wouldn't have had a very successful underage any campaign I partook in. I hadn't much achievement at all. It was kind of later on. But I see what you mean. Yeah, like, you know, not resting on it and always being ambitious. And I suppose the ambition for any club in Longford, I suppose, is to get to senior.
Exactly.
And be successful. And it's a tough journey for different clubs.
I suppose with Rathcline, we've been known as it's probably not the best way to put it, but a yo-yo team. Go up, win an intermediate, up to senior, back down the next year. We really need to start consolidating at senior championship. You know, that's our goal for the next couple of years, is to try and consolidate as a senior club, and then try and push on, hopefully, and try and be successful as a senior club. You know.
And what does it be like? Say you win your intermediate championship. What's the feel then in the dressing room of the club? Is it like, God, this is great, now we're getting up to express ourselves in senior, we want to have a go? Or is there, do you sometimes get like, there's a sense of I don't know, uneasiness kind of about that progression?
Well, our first real thought, like after when intermediate and championship in 2018, was our first thoughts we talked about in the dressing room after was pushing on to win Leinster. So the senior championship wasn't the first thought in our mind. It was the Leinster championship, the intermediate championship, Leinster. Like,
yeah.
And then when we were knocked out of that, then when we back met up the following year, started off for pre-season, then we started about talking about like how we're going to stay in senior, and it just hasn't worked out for us. Well, I've only been there. I've only played 1 year senior championship, and we were kind of unlucky with the group we got as well, because one of the teams that was in it got to the county final, and the other team bet Mullinachta. So it's hard. Like, we were a bit unlucky.
Yeah, it's kind of ruthless. That's why I kind of sometimes I feel the format doesn't suit the development of teams at times, because you could have a team coming through there that has a nice blend of older and younger players, and they're kind of, you know, they're kind of ready and they're seasoned and they're ready for that step up. And then you could have, like yourselves, they're a very young team.
Yeah.
And like, you're after coming through the intermediate and then you're thrown into senior, and it's kind of like a sink or swim situation.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I suppose what didn't help us in 2015 and 17 and 18, when we did go up to the senior level, was we lost a lot of lads. So we lost a lot of lads that we can't afford to be losing in Rathcline. You know, like,
no,
we lost Kevin Soran this year. Like, Kev is a massive player for Rathcline. Michael Morrissey, another huge player.
Did Kevin
Shane
travel,
Donoghue.
did he?
Yeah, Kevin was over in Canada working,
Okay, yeah.
and so was Morrissey, and obviously Shane Donoghue then as well, being
Yeah.
away with the army. He was another huge loss for us, like, and for a team going up to play senior football, you need all them boys going up with you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and sometimes you'd often wonder maybe is a format better where, like, say, relegation is kind of done away with, just because it kind of like this thing of going up and coming straight back down, and then you're trying to keep lads interested, like they're bursting themselves to get up there in the first place, and next thing you know, they have a bad experience the season after. Lads are going away, the squad isn't at full strength, giving it a proper go, and then you're back down. You're like, right, we have to start all over again. That's hard, on young players, like even Oran's age group as well. Not to say you're old, Shane, but I'm just saying, it's when you're trying to bring young lads in, you're trying to keep them interested. It's not a great. Not a great.
No, you want to be trying to. You definitely want to be holding on to lads going up, especially. But when you see that we've gone up and we've come down and we've gone up and we've come down, like, it's very hard to keep guys interested.
Yeah, and like there's lots of clubs in that situation, and like, I don't know. I think something has to change to try and keep that interest. That lads sense that, right, if I can commit to this, then there is a reward. There is a reward.
Exactly.
Like, you kind of need to feel your way sometimes in a situation. Like if you're coming up into senior there and look at, right, just say for example you knew there was no relegation, then look, we can get this a good rattle this year, and it'll be a good foundation for us, and then we can go at it next year maybe from a better position.
Yeah, exactly. Like the shackles would be off then, you can really express yourselves, like, because sometimes I feel when we go up that we sort of hold back because we're afraid of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like we'd be kind of focusing on other teams, like say we played Monaghan the last year in the league, like we kind of focused on not letting them score a lot instead of expressing ourselves, that kind of way up the other end.
Especially
we had a good forward line.
Yeah, sure. Like, you have some fantastic young players like coming through, and the last thing you need to do is be playing within yourselves and setting up to stopping everything rather than expressing yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
It's a hard balance to get, I know. Anyway, let's talk a bit about the Kenny household coming up. Oh, your Aunt Paula, she was very successful with the Lamford ladies.
Your
Uncle Kieran was on the squad 94. You're saying the Lamford senior squad 94?
Yeah. I think he was on it for more years than that as well.
Was he? Yeah, afterwards. Yeah.
I just came across a program there on Twitter, and
did he play up to the Millennium team that time?
No, he wasn't on that. No,
he wasn't on that. No, maybe he just finished before that, had he?
I think it was 98 or 99.
98, yeah, close. Okay. And then did you mention Porrick? Did Porrick play for the county?
No, Porrick probably was good enough to play with Lamford.
It's often said here that he was one of the best of that family to play, but he never played with Lamford.
Right. Okay. And would he say that himself?
We'd be afraid to ask him.
He had some sound advice for you anyway to take up the Irish dancing.
Yeah. Porrick was he's actually in Australia now at the minute, over there working. So he knows more about football going on here in Longford and Rathcline than we know ourselves.
Isn't it gas, like the connection, like even the amount of people that go away, but the GAA it's a great base for people to keep up communication, and it's so important to everybody.
Exactly, yeah. Like he nearly feels like he's at home when he's in Australia, when he's hearing everything that's going on in Rathcline, like, and hearing different stuff, and he could ring you at any hour of the day trying to find out what's going on, and it's great. Like, it's great for him as well.
Yeah, I should say he's chuffed to see you boys succeeding as well. Sure.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Well, you've definitely surpassed all the past pressure now. You definitely have your own.
I don't know. Have we just not just yet?
Getting there though. Lots of time.
Getting there, yeah.
So what was it like growing up then? Say, it's good. Say your underage careers. Like what was it? What was it like? What do you remember from it? So what's your
Don't really remember much. It was just always kind of having a ball, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like we always, wherever we went, we always had a ball, and
we used to spend most of our time out in the garden battering each other, and then one of us started to cry. I can just remember that very vaguely.
That's actually another thing I meant to ask you, but I didn't see it in your accolades. Was I don't see any big league titles there.
I was robbed out of them one year.
I was robbed out of myself. The two of us were. That's
Controversial referee, was it?
I'd say controversial umpire more than referee.
There's a good view from the higher ground there, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's gas. So like, I suppose your football was always very competitive from Fermoyle, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was like, we used to go out to the pitch there, and we used to train nearly every day, every big lunch, and Dennis used to come out. Then you used to know you were in for it.
Whip and shape. Yeah. No harm to good discipline at that stage.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no, it used to be. It actually, you'd look at it now and you'd say, geez, we used to train, like, for a primary school, like, we used to train every single break time.
Yeah.
That was the way it was. Every single day you had your shorts, boots, and socks. And I suppose that has a huge part to play in, moving forward as well and playing football. Like, going to school with us, that everyone was sort of pushing you on all the time. That really helped as a young lad.
Oh, of course, and you get great confidence from it.
Definitely, yeah. Like, as soon as you hit second class, you were eyeing up trying to be one of the first lads to get on the team. Like, that was sort of the big thing back then.
Yeah, once you got in, when you're in fourth, fifth class, you're like, right, I'm gonna start pushing now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then I suppose it's I don't know, like, it's kind of interesting now when you think back, like, it's gone so intense now underage.
Yeah,
the whole football scene, that you know that if it's very intense at national school level, you'd wonder, does it benefit players down the line? Because if they're so used to an intense structure in national school, and then it's the same in under 14, the same in under 16, same in minor.
Yeah.
Like, do you just hit a wall then? It's like, does it become too much? I think it needs to be made as enjoyable as possible up to a certain age.
Yeah, and then sort of start introducing bits of competitiveness and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Rather than kids of a young age making too big a sacrifices for their age, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I suppose when we were at it growing up, like, it was always good crack. You know what I mean? Like, there was always a bit of crack involved. We'll say, be it managers, be it different sort of thing going on. Like, and that really helped. Like,
and we always wanted to do it as well, which helped a lot as well.
That's half the battle.
We were never put into a car, like, going somewhere that you didn't want to be going. Like, if really came up from this, you were never forced to do anything. Like, it was always, if you wanted to go, you were going. That kind of way.
And you were ready an hour before. You were ready to go and just looking forward to going. Like, it was.
Is that still the case now? You had the bag packed an hour before.
Easier now.
I don't know about Oran, but I'm definitely 10 minutes before I'm in, get the gear bag, out the door.
Couldn't operate that way at all. No way.
Or I'd be a night before, man.
Yeah. Oran.
Huh?
You'd be ready the night before, you would?
Yeah, I would, yeah. I'd like to get everything.
You want to sort that out, Shane?
Yeah. Falling behind, Sean.
Right, lads, we move on. Okay, I want to talk about, I suppose, there's such a contrast at the minute, given your situation. Oran, you've had a fantastic break onto the county scene this year, such a successful year already. Like, and it was such a shame just for things to go the way they did in the end, because Longford were flying, and I got to a couple of games. Like you broke onto the scene, and the experience that say you've got already, you probably can't believe it in a way, but I just think,
I couldn't believe when I think it was. The debut was Kildare, and it was the very first game this year, and my name was read out with corner forward, and I couldn't believe it. Like,
yeah, how did you feel?
I felt good. Like, I felt a bit nervous, obviously, because it was the first time ever putting on the jersey, putting on a starting jersey.
Yeah.
In the very first game, just kind of thrown in at the deep end. But I wouldn't have rather it any other way. Like, that's the way it worked out, and it worked out well. Thank God.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like, it's hard to to explain that feeling when it first happens.
Yeah,
like there's so much running through your head. Like, what would you have been nervous about?
I just wanted to make some sort of an impact anyway and keep the jersey. That was the main thing. Like,
Yeah, did you feel a lot of pressure straight away?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, it was a little bit of pressure, but it was. It didn't really make a difference. Like when I touched the first ball, I was grand.
Yeah, it's so important, first touch, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I
just
suppose
getting it.
the lads around you, did you find them a help, or was that?
They were very helpful. Like, just whispering things in my ear before the game started during the warm up, and
Yeah,
not to be nervous
it wasn't
and all
just a
that sort of
case. It was just a case of, oh, your name was announced, you line out, and that's it. Not a word from anyone. It means an awful lot
Yeah,
to
I
have
know,
somebody come over, have a chat, and just kind of settle you a bit.
Yeah,
Because you don't realize there's time, but they're like, you're one of many in the dressing room who's nervous, and like it never
Yeah.
changes. I find it never changes. I don't know what game you play. So, like, and then once you got that game under your belt, you must have just felt.
I've tried to get on, have more of an impact in every single game. Really, like,
Yeah,
that was the way I was looking at it.
but like to get that experience in the first game and then build on it, like
Yeah,
it's
it was great.
fantastic.
It was great to
It's
get.
fantastic because to come in so young. So what age are you now, Oran?
19.
19. Yeah, like to come in and to be getting that experience straight away, like you're going to learn so much from it.
Yeah,
And then obviously the Burren Cup was such a highlight.
yeah, definitely. It was just even from the meeting at the start of the year, we had said that we'd make a real go at the Oran Cup this year.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing towards Championship or League later on in the year, we said we'll try and win everything that we can.
Absolutely, because like Lanford always starts. We start good and early with regards to training too, so we're always we're kind of primed for competitions like that as well.
Yeah.
And we're ready to go, and like you kind of have to take every game as it comes. And I always say you could be playing with Longford for years and years and years and have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Any bit of silverware you get, it's so important, And then Shane, you've been part of the squad the last couple of years, obviously very, very unlucky with injuries.
Yeah.
Well, how is like, what's your scenario at the minute?
At the minute, if football was to come back in the morning, I'd be ready to go. So I've had
the body has had enough time, has it?
Yeah. So this year, I tore cartilage in my left knee and I had an impact fracture. So I had to go and get that sorted out before the competition started, before we went back in with Longford. And went up to the surgeon and he says, look, you're really going to have to consider yourself now, because the next time I see you, I'll be telling you not to play football anymore because I have that much cartilage going out my knee. So I went into Podgy and I just said, look, I need to take a break here. And Podgy was very, very understanding, and lucky enough, Cameron and them all in there, they were all very sound. And
yeah.
So I took the year out. Took as much time as I needed, and I actually got in with a fella in Mullingar to do a bit of PT, just to try and stabilise everything and try and fix what was wrong, with regards to running and landing after catching the ball and stuff like that,
Yeah, like it's unbelievable the commitment that's involved. Like, even when you say you kind of step away, give yourself time, to give the body a chance, you're still committed to personal trainer there, like, so nobody sees that or hears about that. They're just like, right, is he fit to play, yes or no? And then you're kind of judged on whenever you're available, basically. Nobody ever looks at like the hard yards that you put in to get to that place in the first instance.
Like, you probably know yourself, like whenever you're injured, like it's you're when you're unavailable for selection, it's a very hard place to be, because you're training on your own, you're doing your own thing, you're probably in a gym inside the slashes there, doing your own thing, doing your own gym, and that's absolutely not the place you want to be. You want to be outside kicking the ball.
Yeah, you kind of have to change your mindset to so you have to change your goals. You kind of have to forget about going back playing. You got, like, your goal has to change from playing to getting that aspect of your body right, first of all, and making sure it's strong enough. And then the next stepping stone, I should remember us doing runs together with Owen Maguire that time.
Yeah. You were blitzing me every time.
Yeah, I don't say about that until you decide to take off. Long legs. He used to build me up more,
Yeah,
then he destroyed me on the last few runs.
yeah.
Keep me in check. And I always felt bad then because I was kind of ready to go back playing, and you were still stuck with Owen. But
Yeah,
you
that
shoulder injury
was
that time, Shane, didn't you?
yeah. So that was the year I got pins in the shoulder, and probably felt like I was ready to go back, but I wasn't just ready to go back at the same time. So, but that we've had a couple of long years. Hopefully, it's finished now. Thank God.
See, you had to be very careful because I suppose the way you were going about it was probably wrong. You probably realise that now, and
Definitely.
it's very difficult. Like you had 1 or 2 long seasons with Rathcline there, and you were going straight into a county setup.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
suppose what you needed was somebody to say, look, take time, and give you that
That's
confidence that, like, look, take time to get yourself right and come back in, and we'll consider you then, rather than this thing of getting yourself right for a game, having a setback, getting yourself right again, setback, and it's only going to hinder your progress.
exactly that. What you're after saying there is absolutely spot on. But there's so many lads in the same boat. Like there's lots of lads around the county there that are going from finishing off with your club to going straight back in with Longford, to going straight back into club, to go straight back into Longford. There's unless you get injured during that time, so you're constantly playing football. Like you could be playing football there for 3 or 4 years on the trot, like no problem.
Yeah, and like it's not as if you're not conditioned. Like if anything, I think a break would benefit you. But it's just, I suppose, managers and setups feel under pressure.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where that's where you should be looking at your squad and building your squad to deal with scenarios like that. That
Yeah, like it's to see the amount of young fellas in there playing with Longford this year, like 18, 19-year-olds, like it's very, very positive looking in at it,
huge, yeah. Because what year did you first come onto the squad, Shane?
I think it was 2015 leaving cert. Jack Sheedy's year
That's right. Yeah. Was it
was the
Jack's last
first
year?
year. Sorry, yeah, Jack's
That
last
was
year.
Jack's last year's first time you came in, right?
So that was the first year. Like I Mammy and the old fella wouldn't let me in because I was doing the leaving cert. So whenever the leaving cert finished, I got to go ahead to go in and train. So
That's fair discipline.
yeah. Like I was chomping at the bit to go in. Like this 18-year-old young fella mad to play football, and
I know, and being in there, it's such a buzz, like, and then
yeah, especially your first year. Your first year is absolutely magic. Like
yeah, and you're flying.
and
You were fit at that time until the knocks started to come, and
oh yeah.
but did you find you were kind of put into situations where you were, like, obviously you were very young, so like it would have been unusual for you to turn around and say, look, I need, if you turn around and you said to a manager, look, I need time to get my body right. I'm picking up these knocks and I'm not able to play football. I'm not progressing. Like
yeah. Like
it wouldn't be received. It wouldn't be received too well.
No, definitely not. Like progression is the big thing there. Like it's not that I've gone back or anything, but I haven't progressed as much as I'd like to. Like there's lots of time to do that yet, but
You see, we all think
sort of
if we miss, there's that time you think if you miss 4 or 5 months, you think, oh God, I'll never get it back and I'll never be the same. Like, and it's when you look at it, it's 4 or 5 months. Like it's nothing. It's nothing once you come back at the other side of it and you're 100% fit to go again. But
exactly. So like what I probably should have done, like you're spot on there, like is to maybe approach a manager and say, look, I'm getting these knocks. Like it shouldn't have taken up to now for me to realise that.
Yeah. But see, this is where the guidance comes in, I think. This is where
Yeah.
someone needs to, like, it's like player welfare thing. It's like, look, you need to take
Definitely.
the time. We'll monitor you. This is not us letting you go in any way, shape, or form, but in order for them to get the best out of you as well, because when you have a talent like yourself, there's no point abusing you until you pick up an injury that's just going to hinder you then for the rest of your career. And then
Yeah, exactly.
as you said, there's so many lads in a similar situation, but I think it's the communication between manager and player there is so important.
Yeah, like look at when I approached Podgy this year to say it, he was 100% understanding. Like he was saying, come back in your own time whenever you feel like it's the right time to come back in. Make sure and do that. So that helped a lot. Like it made it a lot easier for me to go in and say, look, I need to do something here. Like he was very, very understanding.
Brilliant. That makes such a difference.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It makes it a lot easier, all right.
Yeah, so like it's funny, like and I suppose like you're looking at Oran there, he's after breaking on. He's had a sensational year so far, and like Oran has just gone from one step to the next for you. Like it's just from from winning the Leinster, and now you're nailing down your place on the senior county team, and it's rolling on for you. And I suppose it's amazing the contrast between the two of you at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I came on to my first year, like I had to adapt to kind of something new every year. Like, so I was 17, came into the Rathcline intermediate team. Then the following year, I was playing senior in Longford with Rathcline. Then the following year, playing with Longford senior. So it's just been about adapting and just getting used to it. That's all it's
a
been really.
roller coaster,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But like, it's cool. And Shane, you sound like you've dealt with it well in the sense that like you kind of you accept where you are now because you know what's the best thing for you.
Yeah, like exactly. Like it's very hard looking at Oran tipping off the trail and there and doing so well, and just like it actually got to a stage there during the year where I was like, I can't even go to watch a game, like because all you wanted to do was be out there.
Yeah, it's just normal, perfectly normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so what I done I would just keep busy. That's the big thing, like tip around there. In fairness to your man in Mullingar, Joey Cleary, he's been absolutely class. Like, been up with him 3 or 4 times a week as much as I can, and every time he's been very accommodating. Like, so that was sort of my way of dealing with it too. Because looking at him coming in and out from training, like I should be bringing him to training and I should be bringing him home. That kind of way.
Yeah, I know.
Where I was just, doing my own thing, like, and it's the best thing that I done, but at the time it was hard,
Yeah, of course, that's natural. But like I think it says a lot that you're able to focus on what was important to you now, because it can go the way. You can go completely the opposite way away from it and say, "Oh, look at here, I'm sick of this. Like I'm sick of, trying and not getting the breakthrough and getting injury after injury." And then you kind of ask the question, God, is it better to just leave it at times,
Yeah. Oh, look at it. For as long as I'm able to, I'll be taking up the stick at it.
You're looking Oran's such a sound man as well. He wouldn't be gloating or anything when he gets home.
Oh no, there's no gloating in our house.
Get slapped.
Catch up, big brother, catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So guys, yeah, well, look, we spoke about being around the county setup at the minute, and look at, I suppose, Oran, in a way, it's unfortunate that you can't keep building at the minute, but like it's you're in a great place, like, and I just think keep working, keep learning, you'll be 100%. Like it's just saying, like the experience you've got already this year, Kildare, even the Dubs in Pearse Park that time was a huge game. Like people don't realize that. Anytime we topple them is huge. Like, and then the O'Byrne Cup, like over the years trying to win that competition. I'll never forget when Meath beat us in the free kick competition there. Like, we were so close. Like, and we probably had a great chance of winning at that time. But anyway, wasn't meant to be. Just lads, I suppose, from playing with my own brother Pádraig, it's like it's a very special feeling playing with a member of your family, and obviously I played with my cousins as well. Like when you're involved with a team that has family members involved, it's a very special feeling. And I was fortunate enough to share my county experience with Pádraig as well, and kind of looking at you two guys as well. Is it something you'd ever thought about? And it's funny at the minute, Shane, when you've been around the squad to taking your break now, and Oran has broke onto the scene. Do you ever stop and like it must be exciting the way to think, look at before long we're going to be partnering up again.
Yeah, it definitely it's definitely exciting. Like, there's a lot. It's a special feeling, like but especially we probably only rightly got going this year with Rathcline when the thing got going, like, but there does be plenty of rows too. Like, it doesn't. It's not all rosy.
No, it's not meant to be, but I suppose like it's you're not probably put in the spot about it too often, but it's definitely something to be treasured. And then look at the other side of it is it's great you're playing together, and then the comparisons start. That's the other side of it, which is it's kind of, it'd be like a frustrating thing. It's like people not just be, can players not be celebrated for their own individuality rather than, it's like you'll be pitted against each other. Do you ever get that, or is there like?
We would have, because we're two completely different
Yeah.
players.
That's like, how do you compare two to completely different players? You know what I mean? It's like, but it's like a natural thing that people are drawn to, isn't it?
Yeah. Everyone has their own opinion. And
yeah.
We still, like, Oisin still has to come up and play with Rathcline as well, but like,
he's knocking on the door.
Yeah, like there's three of us, and the three of us are completely different players. Like, and you're spot on what you're saying. They're like lads of people have different views on you. You know, like,
yeah,
you just have to take it with a pinch of salt and just understand where you're going yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the younger you realise that, the better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so understand where you're going to be going, and where Oran is going to be going, and where Oisin is going to be going, because we're three different players. Like, so the three of us could have three different goals.
Exactly. Is there something you thought about, Shane, like when you were playing, with the counties, were you like, I hear this fella's coming up now, I wonder, will there be a day when we'll be playing together?
Well, I sort of
realised it fairly quick. Eyeing you in the long grass.
I look at a couple of years ago there, where you could have lads just coming up to you and saying, "Oh, geez, that lad's a class act." You know, you sort of knew from very young that he was going to be very good. You know.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I didn't think it was going to be this quick.
I know, some transition, in fairness.
Yeah, like
time
Joe really does fly.
Joe had me well informed about Oran.
Joe was great.
And then I'd seen it a few times as well. Like, but yeah, look, I think it is a very special thing, like, and before long, it just creeps up. Like, when I was younger, I had never sort of thought too much about it, and then before you know it, Pádraig was up on the senior team with me, and then we were playing county together, and then it's kind of only when you stop playing you really appreciate that that kind of coming together, because
exactly,
not everybody gets to experience it. I think it's a very unique thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
like we've never really focused on it that much. Like, we've always been focused on what we're going to do with the team, like, rather than just,
of course,
focusing on playing with your, like, we're just focused on our goals, really. Like,
well, look, that's a great attitude.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not saying that the goal would be to play, but I suppose down the line, as part of your journey, you start thinking to yourself, you know what, like, God, this is great. Like, it's great that we both have this opportunity. And
it's definitely a huge thing being able to play with your brother. Like, but like yourself and Pádraig there as well. Sure, like that you probably only realise it when you're finishing up there, that it is really, really special. But like, it nearly takes someone to say it to you before you actually realise it. That kind of way.
Yeah. Well, but it's amazing. Like, it's amazing as you go on. Like, you will feed off each other. Like, I found like, as Pádraig came on to the scene, like, he turned out to be such an inspiration to me when playing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I got an extra edge playing with him. I got an extra edge being around him. That sort of way. Like, so, which is kind of, it's funny in a way that, even though he's your younger brother, you'd be looking up to him, kind of thing.
Yeah, I would have been looking up to Shane as well. Like, when I was, even when I came on to the Rathcline team, he was just pounding me in every single ball. Like, he didn't quicker than anyone else. Like, he trusts me quicker than he trusts other lads. Like, he's always, and since in the warm-up, very first game, I remember he said, "Oh, I'm going there," and he just kicked about 10 balls straight in.
And it's probably a joy for him to have you in there.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Ping it in. But like that, like, there's probably all the years of tricking around with the ball together. It's an understanding that you can't coach. Like, it's like
like, even like you'd take abuse. I do find anyway. Like, if he was to say something to me like, "Why didn't you kick me that ball at this time?" Like, you'd listen to that a lot more when it's your brother rather than someone else. You'd sort of be overthinking it if it was someone else, but then if it's coming from someone that is playing inside and knows the crack, you sort of take it on board a lot quicker as well.
Yeah, it's just probably like second nature. He's giving
Exactly.
he's giving you go for home as well. Water off a duck's back.
Yeah, like I'd say if the walls could talk in our house, you get a good book out of it.
Or all the same, I'd say like
Yeah, exactly.
After any game of football can be very intriguing in any household, I'm sure.
It does usually end up in one of us walking out.
Yeah.
You've a good referee in Shane Kenny there, yeah.
Yeah, he's the biggest critic of us all.
I'm sure he doesn't take sides. He's still there, lads. Yeah.
We're very lucky as well, like to have parents that would have always brought you places. You know, like anywhere you needed to go in regard to football, it was always no problem. Where from, I'd say under eights, it has always been we need 2 cars because one of us is going one way, the other of us is going the other way. Do you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's great. It's great. It'll be great memories in times to come. You know. Right, guys. I suppose we'll start. Who wants to answer this one first? Your greatest achievement to date.
Oran. Oh God, what? Well, I was talking about this actually earlier on with Daddy, and I just asked him to give me a hand because it's a toss up. Like it's a toss up between the O'Byrne Cup this year, obviously in the first year, and probably the Leinster Championship with the schools as well. Like that was very special to me because took us 6 years to do it, and you were doing it with your friends, and you had a great manager who you respected, like, and he respected us, and it was just a great group of players, and it just took us 6 years to do it. So that's probably my greatest achievement. Anyway, and I was the captain.
You have some bond with Joe.
Yeah, I was actually only talking to him. I was with a few of my friends there the other day, and he rang one of them, and the 4 of us were in the car, like, and he coached us all last year, like, so. And we had a great crack for about 10 minutes with him on phone. So he keeps in touch, so it's great.
He's a great lad. Like, he's a great way about him. Great interest in it, and just driven to improve all the time.
Yeah.
And Shane.
Same as that. Probably toss up too. I suppose the Leinster minor league was probably special enough there. We played down in Clubbunny, like the club pitch, and to be able to lift the trophy there in front of everyone, like that was special enough. Like there was all the Rathcline lads knocking around, you know, like that's. If it wouldn't have been as special if it wasn't in Rathcline, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that is.
It was nice, like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then with the intermediate finals there, like it's you can't beat winning with your club, you know, like that's
no matter what anyone says, like, yeah, it's a different feel.
Exactly, yeah, like exactly. That's it. There's a different edge. Like you can win all you want with everyone else, but it's very, very special when you win something with your club.
Yeah, because I suppose you're coming from a young age, and you've built a relationship with lads from a young age. So anything you win with that group is extra special.
Exactly, and especially for the lads that have coached you, like, up through the years. Like I find, like, that there's been so many people that has been really, really good to us in everything that they've done with regard to showing us different things and stuff like that. Like it's nearly a payback to them, you know, like that. They're seeing us now that we're after, like, pushing on, and we've been successful and stuff like that, you know, like that's sort of what I enjoy about it most, is giving back to the people that has been so good to you growing up, you know.
I know, because like there's key people in all their underage careers, and they just disappear, but at the same time they're always there in the background, and they're always helping out in some way, shape or form, and you never forget them when you win something.
No, that's it. Like there's, I suppose, definitely Shane Ryan for me anyway. Like,
Shane's a gent. Yeah.
Same for me as well.
Yeah, like he anytime we have a game, he'll ring you the next morning, and like he'll tell you different things, like what you're doing wrong, like different sort of trying to improve your game. Like,
he's a genius.
Yeah, he takes such an interest in you as a person as well, I found.
Definitely, yeah. Like the smallest little things, like to improve your game. Like if you go to Shane, he'll be very honest with you, and he'll tell you, right, this is what you need to do, this is what you're doing wrong, this is why you're getting injured. Do you know, this kind of, like, very, very. We've learned a lot from him, and I suppose there's a lot more underage that we're not going to get to mention. Like, but I suppose the two of us are just very grateful for everyone that has just helped us out, you know.
Yeah, to come up under those lads, yeah, definitely. And Shane, you're in Ballymahan at the minute. You're working in Ballymahan.
Yeah, I'm working in
Yeah.
Ballyman
Yes,
content
and
there.
yeah,
Loving it.
how do you see football there? I suppose two you can answer. How do you see football there in relation to, I suppose, the importance of it, the importance of football and sport in general? I suppose in secondary school. I suppose, Oran, maybe from your perspective of studying, obviously more recently, like was it did it help? Did it help with, say, the stress of study, the stress of,
Yeah.
say, school life, or did it add to it? Did it add to the stress? If that makes sense.
I know. I thought it was great. Like I thought, well, I wouldn't be. I'd rather be out in a field kicking ball than
I
studying.
know I would, yeah.
It was. I know it was even just that team that we had last year and being just getting because you could study for a few hours there in the evening and get that break then and clear your head and just doing what you love. Like it was.
Your training was quite rigorous. Like you had a fairly hectic schedule, did you? Training wise.
Yeah. With the school, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to. Well, it never really came in the way of like we used to. It used to be on a Wednesday after school, and it'd just be 4 to 5. So you had from 5 after the study. Then we used to train on a Friday morning as well at 7:30.
Right.
And you'd finish school at 1:20. Then you'd have all evening to
That's
study.
some commitment. Like I only ever remember lads maybe who would have been swimmers back in the day, getting up that early to go training.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing how it's changed. Like.
Yeah, it's and it makes it 10 times easier when nobody ever missed one of them sessions. Like.
Yeah.
There was so much people at it. Like it was a great session. Like it was great to get.
Yeah, when everyone buys into it, it makes some difference.
Oh yeah, it makes
And Shane, when you go back there now, you were in Ballymahan as well, weren't you?
It was, yeah. So
like, how has it changed from being there now? Like, do you see it any differently, or?
I suppose when I was there's definitely a lot more of a push on football. So like,
okay,
I suppose like different, more people getting involved, more people helping out and trying to, because like at the end of the day, when you're in school, you have to cater for a lot of people. So you're catering for studious kids, you're catering for footballers, but it's very important for every one of them people to do something in line with football or sport or something for their own heads. That's the big thing. Like,
yeah, so important that way, isn't it? There's so much more to it.
Yeah, like in fairness, like to everyone up there, like Gary and Joe and Sean Larkin and a couple of different them lads, they've really pushed it on, like, and it's great to see. Like, it's great to see a difference from when I was there. Even though when I was there was a good push in it too, but it's sort of getting a different vibe,
Yeah, I suppose when different personnel come in as well, and and they have their new methods they bring with them, and their own experiences, it kind of adds to it. And look, a GAA is an ever-changing game, coaches and managers have to keep up to date. And
exactly, yeah. Like,
because,
I suppose when all of this is over, when coronavirus is gone, like I can see like a lot of people questioning football, like commitment wise and stuff like that, and like it definitely not the case for us, but would say people that are sort of borderline, am I going to do it, am I going to not? It's going to be a tough time for the GAA,
It'll make the decision for them,
because they're seeing now how much time they're actually missing from, would say, like a social life or being able to do different things and stuff, like it's different.
It'll be interesting to see how it changes. Yeah, I totally agree. It's like you're also looking at it and you're saying to yourself, well, God, life's going on here.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes it feels like, well, it's definitely not the case for us again, but like talking to people and stuff like that, that life is sort of passing them by. That's that's the vibe that I can get from them. Like,
yeah, because you're like, when you're in the GAA world, you're very caught up and you're rushing here and there, and everything you're doing is based on your game. Everything from your nutrition to your time spent in the gym, your weekends, everything is based on football. Do you know what I mean? And it's probably a time like this, you're sitting back going, God, well, I'm missing out on spending time with family. Like, I'm missing, it could be something small as calling to see somebody, which you do now,
exactly.
Like, obviously within the parameters, but like when you're in such a hectic training schedule, you don't have time for those things, because after training, all you want to do is go home and sit on the couch, plant yourself there.
chill out. Yeah, definitely.
You know, you're not motivated to do other things because you're just thinking of the next training session or the next match. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly. And it's
interesting.
like,
It'll be interesting to see now. Well, I think like there'll be a lot of lads out there. You know, I often think of lads that are going to give it one more year. Like, you know, how's it going to work for them?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, them
definitely.
progression.
Like they're going to be like, it's grand for us. Like, we'll say there's lots of more years in us and stuff like that. But for what you says there, anyone that's close to it, or any fella that wants to go traveling or see a bit of the world, you know, like it's going to be very hard for them to make a decision now.
Yeah, big time, big time. And like, you know, players are more aware nowadays too. They're kind of, they are seeing the bigger picture. You know, there's not the same. Like
Yeah,
years ago, if you mentioned going away anywhere, you'd nearly be frowned upon. You'd be ran out of the parish. But
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah.
it's like, you know, if you take a step back, you can now, you know, lads, you can afford to let lads go away for a couple of weeks and come back. They're not going to miss a whole lot, like, you know. But once it's done, I suppose, once it's, you know, once it's,
Exactly.
like, you come to a reasonable conclusion that, you know, someone's not
Yeah, yeah,
taking the piss
yeah.
altogether. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
definitely.
it'll be interesting to see, you know. So anyway, we're nearly there now, lads. Just, I suppose, your main motivation for playing. What drives you? What motivates you?
Just as I mentioned before, like we all have these goals in our head, like, and you're driving toward them, and because there's nothing better, like even winning the World Cup this year, like there's nothing better than lifting silver. Like there's nothing better, even with the intermediate, like seeing your friends, your teammates, like seeing one of your teammates up lifting the cup, like there's nothing better than that. Like, and just, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just success. Just like
Yeah,
like to have no. I suppose what you're saying is to have no. You know, you're just kind of you're trying to go through the levels. You want to see how far you can go with this.
yeah, like, and trying to make yourself better as well. Like it's like you love practicing nearly. Yeah, you have to be nearly kind of obsessed with it. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it becomes an obsession after a while, and sometimes an unhealthy obsession. But like it's important that like this obsession until you achieve them goals. Like it's
yeah.
so that's I enjoy that. Like I enjoy setting goals
You have a great mindset, Oran. Fair play to you now.
yeah.
You have. I suppose Shane, you at the moment you're just hungry to get back playing. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it's it's actually a very hard time as well, because like you know that you're ready to go.
yeah,
So like it's very hard to keep yourself taking over, keeping yourself doing bits of gym work, keeping yourself doing a couple of runs, trying to vary it up as well. You know, like that's
I
the
suppose
big
the
thing.
positive for you is you're getting extra time. The body's getting extra time. So
Exactly.
if anything, you know, it'll benefit you even more when you come back.
Oh, it's suiting down to the absolute ground. Like it couldn't have come at a better time, to be honest. I know it's a pandemic, and I know there's lots of people out there that are suffering and stuff, but like it's coming a great time for me in football, you know.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, exactly. In the football world, and I suppose do you think you'll be a different player mentally when you come back?
Definitely, yeah. Like I I think myself, I'll enjoy it a lot more when I come back. You know, like the grow is there, and I'm mad to get back playing, and I'm chomping at the bit and stuff. But when you actually go through a couple of injuries there, one after the other, like you're not enjoying football. Like you're sort of playing in pain and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
when I go back, hopefully be pain free, no problem at all. Crack into it there and see where it brings you. You know.
yeah. Like, and you're like when you're injured and you're struggling through games and you're not performing to your best ability, you're being looked on that way too, and you're being judged that way as well. Like, and it's just you just get fed up with it because you're putting your body through the mill for your team, and then
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, like at the end of the day, any player just needs to be looked after. You know,
Yeah.
needs to be given a
Definitely. Yeah.
chance because it's as important as playing and talking out and giving everything else. Like it's as important to be looked after. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like I suppose when you're playing so much and you're enjoying it so much, it's very hard to step away from it too. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly. And like, look at you. She boys have so much more to achieve and so much more to give. That's great
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Definitely. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hey, boys, on the spot questions. We'll start with Shane first. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Favorite player? I'm gonna have to say Bull Masterson.
Oh, lovely.
Is this in Longford now, or is it
Doesn't
Anybody?
matter.
or anybody.
Keep it in house,
So-
though. Keep it in house.
Yeah,
Will we go club and county?
Right. Okay, go on, go for it.
So I suppose for the club it probably would have been Ronan Klein,
Okay, very good.
and for the county then it probably would have been Bull Maston. Yeah, I remember seeing him when I was a young fella and saying I need to be like him.
Great choice, yeah. Great bit of stuff, Bull, yeah.
Yeah,
Serious
yeah,
player.
yeah.
Great, Oran.
Oh, club now. Who would have been? Well, county anyway. It was probably Paul Barton or even yourself, Sean. I would have been looking up to.
Thank you.
Forwards like who were very good. Club.
You don't have to say me. No.
I'm not going to say. Well, I suppose probably would have been Ronan Klein as well when he was playing in the forward line.
Yeah, very good, yeah.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Number 2. Best coach you've played under to date?
Oh.
Another tough one. Jeez, you're killing us with these on the spot.
Amongst the Pigeon boys.
Best coach, I'm probably going to have to go Dennis.
Okay, very good, yeah.
I suppose when himself and Kevin Stritch were there in Longford, I suppose Stritch when he was coaching was very, very direct in what he had in mind, you know, like game play and stuff like that. Like he was a class act. He was a different game altogether. But when Dennis is talking tactics and stuff like that, he's brilliant. Like
he's a great man to get a great setup together, I find, as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like a different
we the best of everything there. When Kevin Stritch was involved, Noel Maguire and Kate as nutritionist, like it was one of the best setups I've ever been a part of. You know, just
that was phenomenal. Like, you know, they're all professionals. Like, you know.
Yeah, brilliant, Shane. Thanks, Oran.
Joe McCormick.
Predicted that.
Joe McCormick. Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Just because I would say Podgy for giving me the chance, but I've had Joe for 6 years, and
yeah, of course. Yeah, you've had a journey.
Yeah.
I know he's first time for that group now. Like just from talking to him, he was. I remember I rang him actually after you won that final, and he was his horse.
Yeah,
couldn't even speak to me on the phone.
We couldn't hear him in the All Ireland semi-final. We couldn't hear him off the sideline, which is probably a good thing as well.
He does be hoarse above in the staff room a lot as well. There
is he loud on the sideline? Is he?
I know, but he wouldn't be long about getting hoarse now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so when the voice goes is a good sign. You boys express yourselves. That's super, lads. Come here. Thanks so much for taking time out and joining me. It was a great chat now. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, you're two great lads. I look forward to seeing you now down the line. And I just want to wish you all the best. Very best of luck in your club and county careers. And just stay injury-free and look after each other.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sean. Anyway, no
bother.
Thanks,
Have a good one. Stay safe.
Bye. See you later. Bye.
Bye.